Arahmayani Feisal, born May 21, 1961, is an Indonesian artist born in Bandung and based in Yogyakarta, Central Java, Indonesia. Arahmayani is considered by many to be one of the most respected and iconic contemporary artists, specifically in pioneering performance art in Southeast Asia. Arahmayani frequently uses art as a means of critical commentary on social, religion, and cultural issues. Arahmayani was born in Bandung, Indonesia on May 21, 1961. Her father was an Islamic scholar and her mother is of Javanese Hindu-Buddhist extraction. Her name represents the syncretic mixture of two different cultures that she experienced in her upbringing. As she readily explains that Arahma goes back to the Arabic word meaning loving while Yani comes from a Hindi word meaning human being. As an art student she felt left down by the educational system in her country because it did not connect her with real life. So she decided to create her own art on the streets and discovered in an intuitive way what performance art was all about. Arahmayani studied at the Faculty of Fine Art and Design, Bandung Institute of Technology, and finished her study in 1992. She also went to the Academy voor Beeld en Kunst, in Schiede, the Netherlands in 1983 and Paddington Art School, Sydney, Australia in 1985. Though best known as a performance artist, she also employs painting, drawing, sculpture, video, poetry, dance, and installation. The thematic material of Arahmayani's work deals with certain issues related to the discrimination and violence against women, the oppression of women's bodies by men, religion in modern society, Western commercial imperialism, and global industrialization. Since the early 1980s, Arahmayani's works have generated hostility on the part of Islamic community leaders and political authorities, resulting in her short imprisonment in 1983. Her painting titled Arahmayani 1993 and her installation titled Etalase 1994 bring together disparate symbols of Islam, Western culture, and sexuality. Etalase consisted of objects such as the Quran, a Buddha statue, a mirror, a pack of condoms, a Coca-Cola bottle, a box of soil, a fan, a small rebana, traditional tambourine, and her photo placed in the same museum vitrine display case. Both of the works have generated a very strong reaction from members of a Muslim fundamentalist group during their first display in Jakarta, Indonesia in 1994. The works were immediately censored and Arahmayani herself received death threats, which then led her to leave the country to Australia temporarily. Because of the poor condition of the original Arahmayani, Arahmayani made a new version of the painting for the exhibition at the Herbert F. Johnson Museum of Art in 2013. At one point in her life, Arahmayani was working for one of the largest newspapers in Central Java. For 4 years, she worked as a columnist and often brought up critical issues about the practice of Islamic culture before being fired for criticizing Islam. In a recent interview, Arahmayani stated that coming from a mix of Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, and animist background, she wanted to make some sort of contribution to the conversation. Arahmayani exhibited in the Indonesian pavilion at the 50th Venice Biennale in 2003, along with other prominent Indonesian artists, Dadang Krisyanto, Tisna Sonjaya, and Made Wianta. The presentation was titled Paradise Lost, Morning of the World. Arahmayani's work has been exhibited widely throughout the world at venues such as Australian Centre for Contemporary Art, Melbourne, Hokkaido Asahikawa Museum of Art, Japan, LaSalle SIA College of the Arts, Singapore, Der Rest der Welt, Pirmasens, Germany, World Social Forum, Impact, Utrecht, Netherlands, Singapore Art Museum, and Asian Australia Arts Centre, Sydney. Several major exhibitions she has participated are the landmark exhibition at Asia Society in New York City, titled Tradition/Tensions in 1996, Global Feminisms, at the Brooklyn Museum in 2007, Suspended Histories, at the Museum van Loon in Amsterdam, the Netherlands from 2013 to 2014, Women in Between, Asian Women Artists 1984 to 2012 at the Mie Prefectural Art Museum, Japan in 2013, and including also several other major exhibitions in Singapore and Australia. She has participated in several art biennales such as 50th Venice Biennale, Italy in 2003, Biennale of the Moving Image, Geneva in 2003, Guangzhou Biennale, South Korea in 2002, Bienal de Sao Paulo, Brazil in 2002, Performance Biennale, Israel in 2001, Biennale de Lyon, France in 2000, Worklights Biennale, Germany in 2000, Havana Biennale, Cuba in 1997, Asia Pacific Triennial, Brisbane, Australia in 1996, Yogyakarta Biennale, Indonesia in 1994. Additionally, she has held international performances in Australia, Brazil, Quebec, Germany, Indonesia, Japan, Spain, Sweden, and the U.S. Arahmayani had her first solo exhibition in New York in 2014 at Tyler Rollins Fine Art, bearing the title Fertility of the Mind, which presented the first ever survey of over 30 years of her performance work. And in 2016, as a follow-up to that exhibition, she had Shadow of the Past, her first solo exhibition to showcase her ongoing experiences in Tibet. Arahmayani's most recent exhibitions were Identity Crisis, Reflections on Public and Private Life and Contemporary Javanese Photography at the Herbert F. Johnson Museum of Art, co-sponsored with the Department of the History of Art and the Southeast Asian Program in 2017, and Art Turns, World Turns, exploring the collection of the Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art in Nusantara at Museum Macon, Jakarta, Indonesia 2017 to 2018. Arahmayani's work has been collected by several museums and art institutions such as the Brooklyn Museum, New York, the Herbert F. Johnson Museum of Art, New York, Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art in Nusantara, Macon, Jakarta, Asia Society, New York, USA. Singapore Art Museum, Singapore,